Picture a plain white wall that begs for something more than a predictable row of store-bought shelves. Then imagine it transformed into an eye-catching arrangement of geometric hexagon honeycomb shelves, each cell interlocking with the next like a living hive frozen in wood. This isn't just storage, it's functional art, an invitation to arrange and rearrange, to fill empty spaces with plants, books, and treasures while celebrating the crisp elegance of natural geometry. One look, and you feel the clever balance of math and nature coming together in your living room, hallway, or workspace. The hexagon has always charmed designers and builders alike. Strong, efficient, and endlessly repeatable. In the natural world, bees figured this out long before architects did. The honeycomb is nature's blueprint for maximum storage with minimum material. Bringing that same pattern indoors with wooden shelves instantly adds an organic yet structured feel, softening modern minimalism or amplifying rustic warmth, depending on the wood's tone and finish. Each hexagon shelf starts as 6 precise cuts of timber: pine for a light, airy look, oak for timeless grain, or reclaimed barn wood for rustic character. These pieces are mitered at perfect 30-degree angles, so the ends meet seamlessly, forming that satisfying 6-sided frame. Makers often use strong wood glue reinforced with brad nails or hidden pocket screws, ensuring the shape holds tight against gravity's pull once it's hung on a wall. Some honeycomb shelves stay shallow, just deep enough for a small plant pot or a couple of candles, while others stretch into deeper cubbies, ideal for books or baskets. But the real beauty is how flexible the arrangement can be. You could mount a single hexagon on its own, a minimalist accent that draws the eye without overwhelming the wall, or build an entire hive. 3, 5, 7 or more hexagons stacked and offset like a giant puzzle. They can expand horizontally across a wide hallway, climb vertically above a desk, or sprawl asymmetrically above a bed to mimic a modern headboard made of empty spaces and lines. Some people cluster them into tight, symmetrical groups. Others let them spread like creeping vines, organic yet orderly. Once mounted, each cell becomes a tiny stage. A trailing pothose drapes over the edge of one hexagon, its vines dipping down toward the floor. Another hex holds a flickering candle nestled next to a stack of old paperbacks. Tiny sculptures, framed photos, a salt lamp, or a collection of handmade pottery. The hexagons invite you to curate little vignettes that reflect your life. The negative space between shelves is just as important. It lets air and light play through the pattern, keeping the wall from feeling heavy or cluttered. For woodworkers, building these shelves is one of those satisfying projects that balances precision with creativity. The repetitive angles mean you can cut multiple pieces in a single session, then spend an afternoon assembling, sanding, and finishing. Many builders sand the edges to a silky smoothness, rounding them slightly for a softer look that catches the light, just so. A simple clear coat deepens the grain and protects the wood, while a stain, golden oak, rich walnut, driftwood gray, shifts the vibe from airy Scandinavian to cozy farmhouse to urban industrial. Some adventurous makers paint the inner faces of each hexagon in contrasting colors. Imagine crisp white on the outside, with a surprise pop of teal or charcoal inside each cell. Hanging these shelves can be as straightforward or elaborate as you want. A single hexagon might need nothing more than a sawtooth hanger or keyhole slot routed into the back. Larger clusters benefit from a French cleat or a hidden rail that distributes the weight evenly across wall studs. When installed correctly, a honeycomb shelf wall feels weightless, like it's floating just a hair's breadth off the plaster. No visible brackets to spoil the illusion. Some homeowners take the concept further by turning the hexagons into closed storage. Add a slim wooden back panel and a hinged door, and suddenly you have a mix of open display cubbies and secret compartments for hiding clutter. In a kitchen, a row of hexagon cabinets can store dry goods in jars, spices, or mugs while looking far more custom than standard boxy cupboards. In a nursery, they become whimsical shadow boxes for tiny shoes and toys, growing with the child as their interests change. Commercially, cafes and boutiques love these shelves for good reason. They're easy to install, instantly eye-catching, and effortlessly Instagrammable. A honeycomb wall behind a counter can showcase locally roasted coffee beans, handmade jewelry, or little planters for sale, drawing customers closer to browse each cell up close. The same applies in salons or studios. A cluster of hex shelves turns spare walls into a display that feels organized yet playful. For renters who can't drill into walls, freestanding honeycomb shelf units are a clever alternative. Picture a honeycomb tower sitting on the floor, with 3 hexagons stacked vertically and joined with discrete dowels or hidden screws. Lightweight but sturdy, it can be moved from room to room. A mini bookshelf today, a plant stand tomorrow, an accent piece in an entryway next month. Some people even build portable units that roll on casters, bringing the honeycomb charm wherever it's needed most. Lighting can elevate the effect even further. Tiny LED strip lights tucked along the inner edges cast a gentle glow, highlighting each cell's contents and creating dramatic shadows on the wall behind. Warm white light brings out the wood's natural tone. Color-changing LEDs turn the honeycomb into an art piece that shifts with your mood. In small apartments, honeycomb shelves do double duty. They break up blank walls without eating up floor space, and their organic geometry draws the eye upward, making a room feel taller and airier. In spacious homes, they can fill vast expanses that might otherwise demand large, expensive artwork. Wherever they appear, they carry a hint of whimsy mixed with architectural clarity, a tribute to both the timeless patterns of nature and the human impulse to build beautiful, functional forms. So next time you glance at a plain wall and think, it needs something, imagine a handful of hexagons dancing across it like a honeybee's dreamscape in wood. 1 or 2 will charm you. A whole swarm will transform the room. And best of all, whether you build them yourself or commission a craftsman, you'll end up with something more than shelves. You'll have a living pattern, a place where order and wildness meet, and an everyday reminder that even the simplest shapes can hold endless possibilities. A geometric hexagon honeycomb shelf doesn't need to explain itself. One look and you get it. Order, balance, repetition. 6 sides meeting in perfect symmetry, just like the real thing out in the fields. But in wood, something different happens. It's not cold or sterile. It's sharp and soft all at once. Clean lines, warm grain, and enough room inside each cell to turn function into display. This kind of shelf doesn't come from old-fashioned joinery or carved curves. It's built with precision, straight cuts, perfect angles, patience. You take 6 sides, each exactly the same length, and cut their ends at 30 degrees. Get it wrong, and the hexagon warps. Get it right, and they snap together like a natural puzzle. No gaps, no fuss. Glue clamp, wait. That's 1. Now make 5 more, and start stacking. Some people mount them as single units, 1 lonely hexagon on a bathroom wall, holding a candle or a bottle of essential oil. Others go bigger, build a full grid, 3 wide and 3 high, like a wooden hive frozen in motion. They stretch across living room walls, bedroom corners, even kitchen backsplashes. Honeycomb shelves fit anywhere because they break the standard shelf rule. They're not just horizontal lines holding stuff. They're space itself, shaped. Each cell becomes its own stage. You drop in a small plant, a favorite book, maybe an old camera or ceramic bowl. Nothing gets lost. The hexagon frames it like a quiet shout. This matters. This belongs here. You could fill the entire wall with these and still not feel cluttered. The repeating pattern keeps things tidy, even when each cell tells a different story. Wood choice changes everything. Pale pine makes it modern. Deep walnut makes it moody. Oak sits in the middle, solid and timeless. Some people paint the insides of each cell, soft greens, bold blacks, warm whites, giving every compartment a little extra character. Others leave the grain raw, letting the natural lines do all the talking. And don't underestimate the edge. Some builders bevel the outer rim, so light catches it at an angle. Others keep it square and boxy for a clean, modular look. There's no wrong answer, only what suits the space. The magic is in the repetition, the way 6 sides become one shape, then become many, locked together like they were meant to be there all along. Mounting matters too. You can fix them flat to the wall with hidden screws. You can hang them like picture frames, free-floating. You can even build them deep enough to stand on their own, becoming floor pieces or room dividers. In clusters, they feel architectural, part shelf, part structure, part statement. It's furniture you notice from across the room. Building them is simple in theory, brutal in practice. You measure once, cut twice, and throw the first attempt in the scrap pile. Angles lie. Wood shifts. The hex doesn't forgive sloppy math. You need a clean miter saw, steady hands, and a commitment to sanding every face flush until the glue lines vanish into the grain. But once they're built, once that first stack goes up on the wall and catches the light, it feels worth it. There's something strangely calming about the repetition. Something satisfying about turning strict geometry into something warm and practical. It's symmetry with soul. And that's the trick with honeycomb shelves. They walk a fine line, structured but soft, calculated but welcoming. They look designed because they are, but they feel found, like they've always been there, waiting to hold whatever matters to you. People love them not just because they're trendy, but because they're clever. They make space where there was none. They turn empty walls into functional art. And every single hexagon, no matter how small, pulls its weight. So next time you stare at a blank wall wondering what to do with it, forget the single shelf or the framed print. Grab 6 pieces of wood, cut those 30-degree angles, and make a hex. Then make a few more. Build your own hive, not for bees, but for books, bottles, memories, and little things that make a space feel alive.